Hello everyone, hello. A little differently guys, so we are going to go over the dev note onslaught mode beta survey result. I want to see what the all-time, I guess, information about the onslaught, because I only had like my little pet peeves about it. So the way that we're going to do this is let me kind of, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to kind of turn this down, probably like halfway, something like that. But anyways, before I get into the video, I just want to thank you guys. 667 guys, you guys are killing it. Stay tuned guys for the Halo videos, this video, and I'm gonna do the I'm thinking about doing the killing antidote chapter 2 video, because I haven't done that. A little differently too guys, I end up getting low census today, which means we actually had more people at work than we actually needed, per resident, so I ended up getting to go home. So please stay tuned guys for videos to show up. So let me rewind this because I did a test thingamabob. So let's get into it. Make sure that the video is, I don't think we actually need to do that. I'm not trying to, I used to do like 1440, whatever. This came out when 13 hours ago, so this is still pretty recent. So let's get into it guys. Let me full video, kind of do the thumbnail, something like that. I think would be totally appropriate. Anyways, let me shut up here. I'm gonna let him talk and everything, so let's get in it.
Hi everyone, Jason here, community manager for the first Descendant. It's been a while since I did a dev note by myself, and today I'm here to talk about the recent Onslaught mode.
I know, I just paused it already. I want this Thunder Cage and whatever helmet this is from. Is that from Bunny? I want that too, but anywho, let's get into this.
The Onslaught mode beta, which ran for about 2 weeks starting April 16th, has come to an end. And as it was new endgame content for our game, a lot of Descendants jumped in to play it, and we received a wide range of feedback as a result. Comments such as the difficulty being too high, starting from difficulty stage 2, the balance being skewed towards certain Descendants like Ultimate Viesa, or the rewards feeling a bit underwhelming. All of which the dev team is fully aware of, and we know that there's still a lot that needs to be improved. Based on the feedback all of our Descendants have sent in, we're preparing the official update with these improvements applied for the May 21st patch. And today, I'd like to walk everyone through on what's coming. Before we begin, a huge thank you.
I am curious what is coming, because they've kind of been quiet recently. So I'm curious what he's gonna say. Sorry guys, I know I keep pausing. Whatever. We'll do this. So let's get going.
To everyone who participated in the beta and shared valuable feedback. So many Descendants respond to the survey, and every single one of your responses became the starting point of these improvements. All right, let me share a few key takeaways from the results of the survey. First up, the part many of you are probably curious about, the overall satisfaction with the beta. About 49% of the respondents said that they were satisfied, and around 25% were dissatisfied, and about 26% were neutral. While nearly half of our Descendants gave positive feedback, this also means that about 1 in 4 players were a bit disappointed.
So I will say though, let me back up. I think so I was fairly satisfied personally. I think my only biggest gripe was like the enemies with the shield was just ridiculous. I felt like, because I was just dumping ammo, and I think that was my only my only like negative response. I think, no, I can't say that. I do remember like my other thing was like the grouping, even for I wish I could have done stage 2 and 3. But with randoms, it's just even stage 1 was a little difficult if you didn't get paired correctly. And you need mods, and I think that was my biggest gripe, was being paired and you had to carry, and the shields with the enemies. Granted that I think when I streamed it, I think we never. Oh, we lost. Wow, we lost 1,666. Dang, bro, that's sad. Oh well. I think that's probably like my two biggest gripes. I think. But anyways, let's carry on here.
Continue to work on Onslaught mode to make it something even more Descendants can enjoy. Next up is the overall perceived difficulty. And starting with stage 1, about 46% said that they felt average, and around 30%.
So I would say it depended on who you got paired with. Like, um, stage one was easy if you got paired really well with people with strong builds too, but it became hard if you had to carry. I can't say anything with stage 2 and 3 because I never made it. I never tried it because people were only wanting to have groups. And again, with me doing solo, and having to do randoms, which is fine, I never really made it to here and here. And I hate to say it, the one, if you're counting it easy, you have some really strong builds. But I mean, again, I can only talk about stage one. It wasn't bad as long as you got paired correctly, but it did become difficult if you got paired incorrectly.
Percent said that it was easy. So stage 1 seemed to have landed well as the intended entry level difficulty. And moving on to stage 2, the difficulty clearly ramped up, and many of you seem to have felt it. Over 62% said that it was difficult, and about 14% said that they didn't even attempt it. For stage 3, a much higher portion of Descendants didn't play at all. About 44% said that they skipped it, while 51% rated as difficult. Yeah, the number of players who found it easy was quite low. So
I mean, it's
this
so
trend
low that it
also
wasn't even
showed up
marked.
in the perceived playtime. Both stage 2 and stage 3 had a lot of feedback saying that the playtime felt too long. And next up, let's talk about ability.
I think the playtime, it like for me, it felt more like a job and ended up being unenjoyable because of the grouping that I kept getting paired into. And that's what made it long for me. It's just like if you got paired correctly, it flew by. But if you got paired incorrectly, it was just horrible.
Over 68% of Descendants felt that abilities are important when it comes to completing Onslaught mode. There were comments about the lack of variety and that it was hard to tell which abilities were actually useful. So while abilities are clearly important, looking at your feedback, there is also an area that needs a lot of improvement. I'll get to this part shortly.
I would say yes. I think, thinking about it now, I think abilities are pretty good. Like if you could Tau the enemies and, crowd control, I guess it would be the word in general. I think you had a very strong, again, I can only speak about stage one. You had a really good, I would say easy time for the most part. But again, though, it just depends if your group was with it or not. Again, that's just my take, and I mean, I did stream it, and that's how I felt. And even thinking about it, yeah, I think as long as I got the ability, increase skill power, critical hit, or critical damage, I went with those instantly and tried to stack them as much as I could, just because it was really important. So yeah, I would definitely say yeah, that makes sense. Granted that too, if you could even slow them or freeze them, like the when we were doing Vesa, it helped a lot.
Moving on to defensive assets, the barricades got a lot of positive feedback for being very useful, while the sentry turret and disruption wave generator scored slightly lower in comparison. When it comes to upgrades, the barricade was also generally seen as the strongest pick. Overall, most of our descendants felt the cost of these assets was reasonable for what they got, but there was also feedback that the sentry turret and disruption wave generator have room for further improvement.
I will say, I do love the barricade. I definitely love it. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think it was, most of the time we did go with the distribution wave generator, but I don't know. I can't really speak too much on their usefulness or how powerful they were. I didn't really see anything because again, I think when we did stream, we were mainly Dia or Vesa, and our Thunder Cage kind of took care of majority of the work. So I'm gonna leave myself neutral, but let me know what you guys think down below. But I can speak for the barricade. Love it every single time. And I do agree too with the cost. I didn't really mind the cost. It was, I would say it's pretty solid. I don't think they would need to increase it. I think that'd be a poor choice. Obviously, if they decrease it, I ain't gonna complain. But I think if they left it where it was at, I think it'd be pretty solid.
And next, let's talk about the emergency events that pop up during the gameplay. Opinions were a bit split when it came to how challenging they were to clear and how rewarding they felt. And finally, the overall flow of play. About 57% of the Descendants said that the flow was easy to follow, which is a relief, as it seems Onslaught mode isn't being seen as overly complicated, and we are really glad to hear that. And beyond these, there
I
were
wait. I am curious. Maybe just because I don't understand. Maybe because it's just because of my position in the game. I don't understand why people would find it difficult. Well, I can't say that. I would say if we're talking about the flow of it, I think it's fairly easy. Point, shoot, kill. Keep everything. Keep your little bubble safe. I think it's pretty easy to understand. I would say the difficulty ranges depending on your group, which I could see how they found it difficult. And the when I and also with the stats you got could make it difficult to understand, like, well, if I got this, what the heck am I gonna do with it? Um but again, I'm trying to be a little biased. Only I don't think bias would, like, open mind. I meant to say, because what if it's a younger age group that the 16% didn't understand? They just what if is what I'm trying to say is, like, these are like a younger audience and they just simply don't understand the concept of just a defense mission, just point, shoot, keep the enemy at bay. Um, so maybe that's why. But I would say I fall in here. It's a pretty simple defense mission. Just point, shoot. Keep the enemy at bay. I wouldn't say it was overly complicated. I think it was pretty simple. I think the rewards were kind of lackluster, but that's really about it. Anyways, let's continue.
complicated, and we are really glad to hear that. And beyond these, there were plenty of other positive and negative feedback. On the positive side, the most common responses were so it was fun to face increasingly stronger enemies. It was fun to
This I'm okay with, but those shield guys, you gotta turn them down just a skosh, because I was a mag dumping. So that's my only gripe with the increasingly stronger enemies was the shields. Obviously, I fall under here. I think the rewards, again, I can only speak for level 1. It was just a little lackluster. Um, I guess I would fall under 2 too. But again, it's just the shields. The shields alone were just eh eh. The playtime wouldn't be bad if we didn't have other things to do. Like, if I was to, like, complete my weeklies and everything else, the playtime wouldn't bother me. But I would like the rewards to reflect the playtime. I guess, like, if I'm going to sit here for 15, whatever, 30 minutes, well, I want the rewards to be as or equal to the same amount as a 30-minute, me doing let's just say 5-6 runs, which is not true, obviously, on the 400%, because I think 30 minutes, if you have if it's a really good rotation, like Magister's Lab or whatever, that only takes you about 2 to 3 minutes, you're doing a lot of runs alone in that aspect, but if we're not comparing it to the 400 and you're trying to do like the Axion planes, 30 minutes, you can come out with, a good amount of gold, Kaifer shards, and some other things. So I think as long as they made it worthwhile, then fine. I don't really mind the playtime. Again, the only thing that got me is with all the dailies and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, the last thing I want to do after grinding for almost, anywhere from 2 to 5 hours from doing everything on a weekly reset is sit here and try and do another event that takes me 15 minutes when I'm already burnt. Now you could argue, well, that's on me, blah blah blah, which is very very true. That is on me. Maybe I obviously need to incorporate breaks, whatever. But that's my only thing, is I would just like the playtime to reflect the rewards.
Play with different strategies depending on ability selection. And also, it was fun to play by changing defensive asset placement and upgrade strategies. On the negative side, the most common responses were the clear rewards weren't satisfying enough, enemy HP was too high, making them difficult to defeat, and also playtime was too long. Once again, huge thanks to every Descendant who shared their thoughts. So now, let me share the various improvements we've been preparing based
Nice.
on the feedback. First off, the starting position in Onslaught mode has been changed. So to cut out unnecessary travel time, players will now start near the energy concentration point.
W.
And the Colossus battle location has also been changed as well. The Colossus will now spawn in the same combat area where players fought the final wave. So the idea is that it makes more sense to keep the battle in the space where you've already set up your defenses. We're also adding new named monsters. Greg, Sigvor, and Ledros will be added, which share the same additional skills as the existing named monsters, Kulin, Goros, and Gramus. And next, a new scene showing the Descendants when entering Onslaught mode will be added, along with new weekly challenges. By completing these
All right, real quickly, I'm okay with this first one. I like the second one, but I also didn't mind teleporting. That's just me. I guess I would say I'm neutral on this one. I'm curious about Greg, Sigvor, and Ledras. I don't remember any entry scene with the beta, but it could have just been, it being the beta. So I'm okay with this. As long as they look really cool and I can get some really good thumbnails, absolutely. New weekly challenges added with the bonus reward. As long as we're not sitting doing like 20, I think I'd be okay with this. And as long as the rewards are, relatively good, I'd take it. So let's move on, guys.
challenges, players can earn extra rewards. We're also adding pick up weapons that players can use against tyrants. These deal additional damage to tyrants, and players will be able to grab and use them during combat. And while this isn't part of the May 21st update, the emergency events will be getting some changes as well. Instead of just ending with a simple interaction like before, they'll include more layered conditions, pushing players to make more meaningful tactical choices in the middle of combat. We've also heard that the preparation time between waves felt too short.
Yes.
So we'll be adjusting that to give players a bit more time before the next wave kicks off. And next up, we're looking into more ways to spend amorphous dimensional fragments. And one feature that will be added is allowing players to interact with a certain object to call down a barrage that damages nearby enemies. We're also planning to change how players acquire amorphous dimensional fragments so that some of it will now drop when defeating champion monsters during combat.
I'm okay with that.
And last but not least, rewards.
Ooh.
Yeah, we received a lot of feedback saying that the rewards in Onslaught mode felt a bit underwhelming. So starting with the official update, the rewards will be improved as follows. First, players can earn up to 4 Ancestors modules per week, each with guaranteed minimum options based on the stage that it is completed. So Stage 1 guarantees 2 rare options, Stage 2 guarantees 1 ultimate option, and Stage 3 guarantees 2 ultimate options on the Ancestors module. On top of that, the amount of superconductive cooling units players can earn at the end of each wave, based on the stage difficulty, will be increased as well.
I'm okay with that.
So, during the beta, there wasn't a strong reason to push for Stage 3 due to the rewards. But now, with the chance to earn more powerful Ancestors modules, Stage 3 is definitely worth taking on. Great, so that wraps up the results of the survey and improvements coming to Onslaught mode. Thank you again to all our Descendants who joined the beta and shared their thoughts. With your help, we've been able to set a meaningful direction for these improvements. Onslaught mode officially launches on May 21st alongside the Season 3 Episode 4 update, so be sure to give it a try
that's when we get
and let us know what you think.
Esmo.
The dev team will continue updating Onslaught mode based on player feedback, so we'd really appreciate it if everyone continues to give us support. And one last thing, our next Dev Live will be on Tuesday, May 19th. We'll be sharing a variety of news regarding the May update, so be sure to join our live broadcast as well. So thank you for watching. I'll see everyone next week. Thank you.
Heck yeah. Well, that being said, guys, let me kind of just bring it right there. Let me know what you guys think. Is this, good? Is it bad? Do you guys still feel in the middle? Do you guys agree with some portions? Do you guys disagree with some portions? I think this is nice. I think it's a good first start, personally. Again, I only had very few gripes with the Onslaught mode. So hopefully these changes are actually good. Just saying, I'm not gonna, we'll obviously do Onslaught when it comes out, and we'll push to Stage 2 and Stage 3 when it releases and everything, and try and see what it's all about, see how easy or hard it is. With that being said, guys, we were at 667, but now we're at 666. I don't like that number, so I need either someone to unsubscribe or subscribe, please and thank you. That being said, guys, you guys are still killing it. Like I said, everything you guys do is appreciated. Every like, video, or view, comment, subscribe, share, whatever, it's all appreciated. Thank you guys very much. That being said, guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you guys in the next video, whatever it may be. Bye.